I've been hearing a little bit of talk about how Burger King upgraded their Whopper recently, and it's supposed to be like this big deal where you get like a new box and better mayonnaise and a better bun. But knowing my luck and my Burger King location, they didn't give me the box. So how do I know if this is actually the upgraded thing? I guess we'll just have to take a look at it because from how it feels, it does seem like it is a little like fluffier maybe, this bun. Does that look fluffier to you? Is it normally more squished? Because people say and complain online from the reviews that I've seen that they always get their Whopper smushed. And that might be true, but I don't know. This might be a feature of this new Whopper where like one side of it has a lot of lettuce. Maybe. I don't know. The only thing we can do is really check it out, and I'll do a review. Maybe I'll eat the whole thing. I have this set up like I'm gonna eat the whole thing. Let's go for a bite. Maybe new Whopper. So far, it is tasting like a regular Whopper. But I think that this new Whopper should have been rolled out at least a couple days ago. It might be placebo effect, but does that seem fluffier to you? Look at that squish. I think so. I was thinking that I would be able to tell more of a difference, but it's pretty much the same thing as always. I would like to think that it is a little bit upgraded, but that's enough about that. I know some of you guys have been asking for longer videos, so I thought that I'd do just like a traditional mukbang. That's where we're headed at least. So in preparation of that, I have some condiments. You know, I can take my time, get a little saucy with it. Some ketchup, the best barbecue sauce, Sweet Baby Ray's. And then for my bev, I have a Diet Mountain Dew. Oh, and then I have a cheese because there is no way I'm spending $1 on cheese for a Whopper. That is just crazy. I don't know who has the money to do that, but why do that when you can just get your cheese from home? Now it is a cheese Whopper. What do they call it? Cheese Whopper? Whopper with cheese? And the cheese just makes it so much better. But if I were to give like an overall rating of the Whopper in its new and improved form, I think that it is maybe a little bit better bun. But largely the exact same thing as always. And I know I've been experimenting with some videos recently. I finally got to do my eating and gaming session video, which I was like really excited to do when I first started the channel back up. But I couldn't really do it because I saw that the more like relaxed eating mukbang style videos weren't really growing the channel that much. I mean, definitely I was getting good engagement and stuff. But then when I experimented with just like quick fast food reviews, they were like way easier to produce. I didn't have to fast all day to do it. And then it was just like, you turn on the camera and then you go. But I think that like a old school mukbang like this, even though that this is like a small meal, it still takes some planning because with like having a busy day, you can't give up all your calories too easy. Even if you get a little hungry, a little snacky during the day. That bite right there with everything, it was actually pretty good. See, this is why you have to, I guess, spend more time with the food sometimes than instead of just taking like 3 bites, 4 bites max, and then giving your judgment. Because there are some things that you miss. So I'm pretty much a believer that probably all the Burger Kings have upgraded their ingredients for the Whopper. Especially if mine has, because like I said, my Burger King, like, they make you wait like 10 minutes in line. I was the second car at the window, right? And I still had to wait like 7 minutes. And I was thinking because maybe the fries weren't fresh. And then when I had a fry in the car on the way home, these things were soggy. Well, not soggy, that's a little bit of an overstatement. But I was expecting like burn my mouth fresh with how long that they were trying to make me wait. So I don't know. I wish I could get a better Burger King, but this one's only like 4 minutes away from me. So I think I'll just deal with it. Do you guys have any recommendations for barbecue sauce that is not Sweet Baby Ray's? Because ever since I was introduced to this one in particular, I think I was in maybe middle school. I had a friend who put me onto it. Ever since then, I've tried a couple different other sauces, like, what is it called? Stubbs or whatever they sell at BJ's. But I always come back to Sweet Baby Ray's. And I know it's like a mostly sweet type of sauce, but I think that that's what I look for in a barbecue sauce now. Like many, many years ago, Famous Dave's used to be good, and then something happened maybe 10 years ago where their portion sizes shrunk. And like before, when the restaurant Famous Dave's was good, it's a barbecue place for those of you who don't know. They sold food like in the platter. It was the trash can lid platter. That was so good. And it was so much food. Like it could feed a family of 4 when you go with 2 people and you pig out. But where I was going with this was Famous Dave's had some good sauces. They had like a peppery, spicy one. They had a Georgia mustard, I think. And then they had a sweet one. And I would think that the peppery, spicy one would be my favorite. But really? Well, the peppery spicy one, at the time, it was my favorite. But in comparison to Sweet Baby Ray's, there's just something about this one that like takes the cake for me. It's a long ramble to say that I don't know why I like Sweet Baby Ray's so much. It must just be because that when you're a teenager, it's still like in your formative years. So whatever you like from when you're like forming these core memories and things, that's what you like for the rest of your life. And on that note, music. It's like super true that once you hit a certain age, so I'm in my early 30s now, you pretty much just listen to the same stuff that you always listened to when you were in your teenage years. Now that's changed a little bit because I got into jazz a couple years ago. So I've been checking out a bunch of like, you know, old jazz musicians who are dead now. But all the other stuff like pop, besides like the stuff that my daughters think are catchy, like Cat's Eye and K-pop Demon Hunters and stuff like that, I grew up listening to a lot of like indie rock or like indie J-pop, indie pop rock stuff, mostly in Japanese, but things like, I don't know. Let me think of something while I take a sip. Well, when it comes to like American music or English music, I liked the band Jack's Mannequin growing up. So stuff in that type of vibe, at least when it comes to pop, like I still really dig. And then when it comes to like Japanese music, it was like Perfume or anime music, things like that, idol groups, you know, all the stuff that a typical anime weeaboo would like. Speaking of, I use this. This is a coaster. The characters from a series called Love Live, which has been going on for a long time now. But I use this to fix my camera focus. So here's what I do. When I want to get a good focus on the food, I'll like go over to the other side of my camera or like look up really close, and then I'll go like this, and then I'll like turn the little dial thing to get a focus on her here because I know the food's gonna be here. And then I bring it back to my face, and then I'll like check the focus there, which is pretty funny. I don't know. Maybe some people will care about this, like, you know, behind the scenes stuff. But okay, that was a Whopper. It was pretty good. I enjoyed it. It was pretty much the same as always. Better bun. That one bite with like all the ingredients and tomato and ketchup and mayonnaise all together, that really made it for me. I don't think that I could taste any difference for the mayonnaise though. It was the same. That was all hype. And then I don't even think that Burger King is really advertising that they upgraded the Whopper in any way. Maybe that's just me because I'm like following all these food influencers and I'm getting news. But I don't think most people would notice. So unless you follow fast food news in other ways, I don't know, stock market stuff, I think people will see that. But that was it. Thank you all for checking out the video. Thanks for watching the mukbang and thanks for chilling with me. And I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.